Good bloody evening. Hope you're doing well. Guess what? It is Christmas tomorrow. It is the 24th of December, day 7. And lucky for the Americans, also a lot of other countries, especially China, it is snowing that side. However, this side, it is summer. And it's Africa. So it is quite hot over here. And speaking of hot, last night, not during the day, during the night, last night it was so bloody hot. I had this fan here you saw last night, and also the fan on top of my ceiling on to full speed. The little wedges you use to pull down to determine the light or the speed. Sorry, they just got sorry, a bit of the cold. Speaking of the fans, it was so hot last night that I had to use both of those lamps. One next to my bedroom, and thanks for noticing. I also got a haircut today, but anyways, it was so bloody hot last night. The next morning, with the fans on included, and keep on, the fans were on. The next morning, the bed was wet. And I thought to myself, did I dream about my crush last night? Did I had too much to drink last night? But no. It was from all the sweating off the heat. I mean, like now, it's not even, the sun is not even shining that much. It's just partly cloudy. And it's still above 30 degrees this side. Well, 35 around there. That is how hot it is this side. And till now, I keep the fan on with me wherever I go, because if you just turn this around, if you look at me here, so there's the fan. Everywhere I go, there's a fan on, especially when I'm working outside with fish house, etc. But yeah, so luckily I went to the fish house today, and the concrete that I laid is dry, well, sort of dry. Just wait for it to be completely dry, and then I'll just have to check if I can add the epoxy layer on it. Then I'll probably add the sand, and then probably add water with the fish pumps, and also the UV on the top for the grass to, of course, be, well, growing, of course, the live plants. And so it's Christmas today. So today I'm not really gonna make like videos of me doing stuff, because of the fact that we're going to my aunt's house, we're gonna open Christmas presents, etc. And let me just check if I can change this, but just gonna hopefully stand them, etc. So today we're basically gonna just be all there at my aunt's house, and yeah. So I'm just gonna talk to you a little bit for around about 15 or 20 minutes or so. But it's basically hot this side, and hopefully if Benji's back from his trip, then we'll probably start continuing with the next podcast sooner or later. But yeah, I think I was about to say something. Oh yeah. So anyways, we're at the shop, and I decided, I want to cut my hair, and luckily it looks a lot better, a lot fresher. The barber even added a stripe. He was like, "You want the stripe?" I was like, "Yeah, no worries, but we can add the stripe." Of course, yes. And then I added the stripe, and then so a little bit of a tradition. I'm not entirely sure why, but for me, I personally like our Indian barbers. Now they are, I think, southeastern. Let me just think. Northeast. I think it's southeast. I'm not entirely sure. Because I know westerns are American. Southern is like the Antarctican people, and for us, Southern Africa. People from the north is, of course, Europe and all kind of stuff, and then from eastern side is, of course, Australia, and I think that's about it. Australia, all this kind of stuff. But anyway, so my barber is Indian. Now I have two barbers. Well, if I'm not in the mood to go to the shops, I'll ask my one barber to come to my house and just cut my hair, etc. And he lives like across the street from me. And then another barber, which is of course an Indian, is just in town. Now they have this type of tradition. If you, what's the word called for it? A comb over with a stripe. If you ask for a comb over with a stripe, after he's done with the haircut, he just takes 2 hands and just smacks behind the head. He just like, just behind the head. And you're done. So that's actually kind of, it's interesting because I don't think a barber will actually come up to just smack you in once he's done. I don't know from other countries, but I don't know for a fact the barber around here also does it. And yeah, we also had another barber. He also had a fishing store. His name was Fiti. Very old bloke. He was good friends with my dad, and unfortunately, I'm not so sure. I think it was a year ago, 2 years ago. But yeah, he moved away. I think to Paris. Kind of missed it. Like used to also cut my hair when I was around 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. That's probably the last time I saw him. Was around, I think it was 13 or 14 when I started getting into the fishing hobby, and then I spent thousands of bucks on Rapala lures, the flukes and the rubber toe, etc. for my fishing gear because I love bass. Like, don't get me wrong, I love fishing bass. My personal opinion, I don't like fishing carp and all those type of fish because I don't like actually going to a pond and then you place your rod in and then you just sit and wait there. Now, I personally like to take my rod, add my lures on, just casting in, taking out, casting in, taking out. It just, I love the movement because you can see by my forearms as well. But yeah, that's basically, and I love those action type of fishing because I don't like to just sit and wait for like hours and then probably the next day even and you take it out and then the lure's gone. The bait, the lures, of course, for bass and pike and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, I like actually those fast moving, just keep on casting, taking in type of fishing. So he had a bunch of beautiful stuff. I mean, like he had every single brand in his shop. And of course, he's their old barber chair as well. Because it was the whole, I'm not so sure how big, but probably the same yard size as what my yard is, my property. Not my property because my mum's, but yeah, still. So basically that was how big it was, and then it was this small room, probably as big as the chair, which is probably like a 5 by 5 meter space with rods and lures everywhere around, and then just get the barber area, like the barber chair and like the stand there at the front with the mirror. That's also a bit creative, but unfortunately, no, he moved away. Can't blame him, he's like 80 years old now. So when I first met him, he was great, and then retired about a year ago. Kind of sad actually, but I can't blame him. Like there's a specific time to actually work, and then you don't work after a while. I don't know if it's so with other countries, but I know for a fact here in South Africa, of course, if your retiring age is 60, and for some reason my granddad, he can't sit still. I got two granddads. It's my granddad Frikkie and then my other granddad Pete. So granddad Pete, he doesn't work anymore. He actually works from his house. He does aircon, regas, etc. My other granddad, now Grandpa Pete is from my mum's side. Granddad Frikkie is from my dad's side. Now he's 63, I think 64 years old now, and he's still working. And he's working at a mine just out of here, just out of town, and still working. He can't sit still, and that's basically a great example for me. It basically motivates me to want to work till whenever I die, because at the end of the day, if you can make money out of something, that will basically be a good thing for you. Now the thing is, for me, what motivates me is that I want to open up businesses. Now, not just any businesses, but stuff my reptiles. I want to carry on with my business where I still do. Not anymore, but I'm still going to get back to it, which is of course the reptile breeding and selling, etc. More like a selling trade, like a salesman for reptiles as well, while also breeding reptiles. But I can't do that now because, well, I sold everything. Um, Basically, all my animals are about gone. I don't actually own any more reptiles, except for a sandbar that's literally like their size. And the rest of the stuff is gone. And then all I have is all those enclosures in the old reptile house. So I have to sell all those, and then I'm gonna take all that cash. Thumbs up, it's gonna work, but I'm gonna invest all that into the betas. And as soon as the betas are making a little bit of a markup extra better, then I'll be able to use that cash to back again invest into better enclosures, better reptiles, better incubation systems, basically just everything. I'm just gonna upgrade. It's more like an upgrade technically, while also taking a break for reptiles, because I've been about 13 now. It's going now, yeah, 13 years now for reptile keeping. Oh, sorry there. Whew. Just gotta keep on a sneeze. I felt a little bit of a cold. Here we go. So anyways, so I've been quite busy with the reptiles. I mean, like when I first started it was like a small little herald snake, and after I went to a corn snake. Then after I got BCI boas, and then after that I just had a variety of different boa species. Then after I went to python species. Then after that, I went to a couple of colubrids, and then I upgraded to anacondas. I had the anacondas back in 2021. If you've probably seen in my shorts, you've noticed I probably had a lot of anacondas. And then I started with the venomous snakes, and I actually found my purpose, which is of course the venomous snakes in the venomous community. Now, yeah, even though the community is not the brightest, because of course you look at all the other reptile communities, the colubrid community, the python community, the boa community, the ball python community, the iggies, the iguanas, the monitors, the crocodilian community, and then you look at the venomous community. Even the name, which is a venomous snake that's toxic, explains to you how actually the community is, because the community can be toxic. I've seen with it's just on my phone, sorry. But anyways, I've seen it with a lot of big keepers, like all these famous venomous keepers. Now of course they start off normal with the hook handling, then after that they start free handling, and then the community turn against them like this. Like as soon as I see, for example, a dingo not too long ago with free handling, boom, one after one after one, the people started hating it. Just those messages started popping up like this. Everyone started commenting about his reaction with free handling a black mamba, probably one of the most dangerous snakes in southern Africa, if that's not even like the middle of Africa. I'm not entirely sure where all they come from, but I know for a fact they are quite common in southern Africa. And that's the thing about a lot of free handlers. They don't do it out of passion. They're doing it for the views. Because where on earth would you actually find a lot of people that will have the guts to be able to just free handle the snake? So for that, basically for society, that's kind of interesting, because why would someone actually want to put their life in danger just for this? So they think, oh yeah, this guy's a professional, and then kids basically look up to those plugs that basically handle venomous snakes with their bare hands. I know Steve Irwin did it, I know Austin Stevens did it, but at least they knew what they were doing. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, I got the snake here. No, they took it by the tail, they held it up like this. Where on earth would you actually take a snake by the middle of the body and just, or like this, or just dangling around? Now, if you look at Steve Irwin when he did with the Taipan on that one video, the snake, he held the snake on the ground. He went slowly, just to show a snake he's not a threat. And also the snake probably didn't even think that it was a living creature. While looking at Tyler and Chandler, they're holding those animals up here and just like holding it in the air. We're also working with these snakes, taking their heads like this. So that snake knows they're a living creature. So there's a high chance of them actually getting bit. Now comparing to what Dingo did with the black mamba. Now, personal opinion, I don't think that snake's actually healthy, because comparing to what happened with, how can I say it, when Dingo had, what do you call it, free handled the Manshake pit viper, you can tell that snake was sick because the snake had a lot of like stuck shedding on it. I'll show where's that video, but it's somewhere on his page where he actually free-handled a Mangchang pit viper. Probably one of the most expensive snakes here in Southern Africa as well. Not actually a native, they're actually from, Southeast Asia, around there. But the thing is about those snake, that snake was stuck shedding, and the fact that it was slow moving, etc., and that it wasn't defensive at all, means it was probably cold. Same with the other black mamba. Now the black mamba was either tamed in captivity and wasn't actually a wild caught animal, or that snake was probably getting caught because of cold temperatures. What doesn't actually make sense, because if it's 35 degrees here in Gauteng, what makes it even colder in KZN, in KwaZulu-Natal, which is at the beach, on the coast? That doesn't make any sense. Either it's on the coast or it's somewhere in Mpumalanga or Limpopo. And Limpopo is also known as one of probably the most hottest provinces. So it doesn't actually make quite sense. So either that snake wasn't actually in captive, wasn't actually in the wild, or something about the cold temperature. But either way, a mamba is not that tame when being handled. I've seen, especially with snakes on the city Simon, when he takes out those animals, those mambas, out of people's homes. Now, of course, the sounds he over exaggerated, of course, on his channel, of course. However, the fact that that animal's temperament is so bloody defensive, and compared to the snake that Dingo free handled, just my point of view, that actually doesn't make any sense. Because why would a mamba, be a black mamba, also known as one of the most defensive venomous snakes on planet Earth, be so tame and so calm when Dingo is handling that snake? That doesn't make any sense to me. But I don't know what happened there. The thing is, with a lot of famous people, what I've seen personally as well, they tend to over exaggerate a little bit on basically almost everything. Reason why for that is because they actually want the views and the attention, and also just popularity out of it. Because just like what I said, why would anyone risk their life to actually handle like venomous snakes, etc.? Now, of course, I did it on TikTok. However, I also handle venomous snakes. Don't get me wrong. I've worked with a lot of native species, a lot of exotic species, and just a lot of dangerous animals as well. However, I don't go around like, oh yeah, look at me, I'm handling this snake with my bare hands. No, I keep it professional. I have my tongs and my hooks, and basically there's all that kind of stuff to be able to handle the animals. And when my animals are sick, I have the proper gear to be able to work with them. I have little tweezers for stuck eye caps. I have the tubes where you place the snake in to properly handle the snake. Like, it's a plastic tube where the snake's head goes through, and when the snake's there and you hold it by the point of the tube whilst the snake's body is here. You hold the snake over there, that snake can't go backwards. Then you can do whatever you can, but for example, probe the snake, help it with stuck shedding, etc. Just anything in general. So it is important, if you're a venomous keeper, to be able to have these type of equipment before getting venomous snakes. And not just that, you also have to have experience. Sorry about that. But also you have to have the experience to be able to work with the venomous snakes. Because if you don't know how to handle that snake, there's a chance you're going to get bit. And I know for a fact, especially with my personal experience, a lot of beginner venomous keepers, as soon as they get their first venomous snake, they are terrified of that animal. And that's basically something you have to overcome. Now, of course, you can't just take the venomous snake and just chuck it in an enclosure and say, oh yeah, I'm never going to take it out anyways, or I'm never going to take it out anyways. You have to take that snake out. Don't get me wrong, you have to handle that snake. If the snake's sick, if you have to do a deep cleaning in the enclosure, or literally just anything, you have to be able to work with that snake. Doesn't mean that you have the snake just going to stay in the enclosure forever. You have to know exactly how to work with the animal, not just how to work with them, but also what type of damage that snake can do. For example, you have to know, a puff adder. You have to know that thing is cytotoxic venom. It's one of the most dangerous snakes here in Southern Africa. And also keep in mind for the anti-venom, and also the shortage of anti-venom that we have in Southern Africa as well. You have to have this type of research and also the knowledge before being able to work with these type of animals. So that's just basically my take on it, and luckily we have a 20-minute conversation right now. But that's basically my point of view about it. But yeah, just because someone is doing something reckless doesn't mean you should too. That's just my take on it. But yeah, that's basically all. If you see someone free handling, my personal opinion, don't go out and judge them, but just don't do it yourself as well. Like, don't try to risk your life just to impress other people. Instead, just keep it to yourself, because either way, if you're going to free handle, people are going to judge you. Literally, the venomous keeping community, as soon as they see someone free handling, they talk about this person, and that person's name is everywhere, and it's not for a good reason. So if you free handle, I respect it. Just keep it private. It's your choice to be able to, or it's your choice to want to do it. So just try to rather keep it for yourself, because people, I'm not saying because I will judge you. I'll just be like, cool, that's all. But a lot of people will actually judge you over that. That's just how it is. And by the end of the day, also another thing why they are actually so aggressive towards free handlers, there's a chance that when a person gets bit for free handling, then the local wildlife associations will basically ban venomous keeping. So people such as myself and also a lot of other keepers will have to, get rid of their venomous snakes because of that. And if people, for example me, gets caught with exotic venomous snakes, not just exotic but natives of course, they'll basically confiscate those animals and I'll have to pay a fine. Why? Because some bloke decides to free handle a Barthrops atrox and then he gets bit and gets killed. So that's just my take on it. It's just, if you do it, keep it to yourself, but I wouldn't recommend it, because not only you're placing yourself in danger, but also you're placing other people in danger as well. Because at the end of the day, you get bit, the local wildlife ban venomous keeping. People such as myself the animals get confiscated and since one killed, and also then I get a fine because someone else was bit, and it's not even my own fault. So just try to, I respect it. However, just think about what other people's, what's going on in other people's collections as well. Just think like, how can I elaborate on that? Just think about the other people as well and not just yourself. I'm not saying you're narcissistic when free handling. I'm not saying you're doing it on purpose or anything. I know for some people it's passionate. However, it's a little bit reckless, but I'm not going to judge people. But just think about other people when you're actually, when you think about doing it. That's basically my take for it. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching. I'm not so sure what's today. Today's Saturday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. Yeah. So thank you so lot for watching today's video, and have a happy Christmas. I'm not gonna say Merry Christmas because I like pulling people's legs on stuff. Like with my mum, if it's her birthday, I just come in with a massive sandwich and like 3 candles and tell her Merry birthday. Just something like that. I just love pulling people's legs about it. But yeah, enjoy your Christmas, and I hope your mum But yeah, thanks a lot for watching the video, and I hope your parents gave you the best Christmas present on earth. A Hilux and 2 generators. But yeah, no jokes. Thanks a lot for